Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
This business was started by my dad. He was a serial entrepreneur who founded and sold probably a dozen different internet businesses over his career. He unfortunately passed away about 18 months ago, and since then, I've been keeping things running smoothly on behalf of my mom, who now owns the business.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
Even though the business is profitable and only takes a few hours a month to run, I also have a full-time job and a 6-month-old at home. I think there's a lot of potential for growth, but my mom's financial situation is such that she doesn't really need the income, and a sale would likely set her up fine.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Keeping the lights on really couldn't be simpler. We just have 2 SKUs, one supplier based in the US, and all our sales are fulfilled by Amazon. So really all I do is keep an eye on the inventory at Amazon and place orders from our supplier when we need more. We have a great relationship with our supplier, and they actually let us store excess inventory with them for free. Apart from that, the only thing I really do is deal with the random Amazon issues that come up occasionally.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
I'll confess that I am not an Amazon expert, which is, part of the reason that we're looking at selling the business. In the latest 18 months, I really have not done a single thing other than just keep inventory in stock. So this is not a situation where we've already wrung out all of the growth opportunities and there's nothing left. It's quite the opposite, actually. Off the top of my head, I think there's some really obvious things that someone who knows what they're doing could do to grow the business. The first would be optimizing our product pages. I have not touched these at all, and I'm sure there's a bunch of ways that these could be improved, either through A/B testing content or improving the product images. Another would be optimizing advertising. Right now, we're just doing a little bit of it on Amazon, and I'm sure that could be improved a lot. We have a Shopify storefront that right now doesn't get a lot of traffic and only accounts for about 5% of our sales, but I'm sure there's some things we could do to push traffic there. Our supplier is great and would love to work with us to launch more products. And so I think those could be launched on Amazon under the same brand with the same supplier we already have, and that would be pretty straightforward. The last thing would be exploring alternate channels like Walmart that I hear are growing, but we have not explored ourselves. I personally just don't have the expertise or the time to try any of these things myself, especially since I'm just doing this for my mom.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
Business really couldn't be simpler, so I don't actually think there are a ton of risks. Right now, we have 2 SKUs and 1 supplier. So I guess one risk would be that our supplier goes under for some reason, but we've worked with them for years and they really like us, and I just don't really see that happening. The other risk would be, of course, that almost all of our sales are on Amazon. And so obviously the risk of that is that our eggs are in one basket. And so if Amazon changes their policies in some way or a competitor pops up, that would have a big impact on our bottom line.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
The business is extremely simple, so I don't actually think a buyer will need a lot of support. Once the inventory is at Amazon, there's really nothing to do. I want it to be a success, though, so of course I'm more than happy to answer emails or hop on the phone to deal with any issues that come up.
Got it. And regarding the sale of the business, would you agree to a non-compete?
We can definitely commit to a non-compete. The whole point of a sale is to get this off my plate, frankly. So the very last thing I'm going to do is launch some sort of competitive business.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
We're probably not open to a earnout payout structure, to be honest. One of the real goals of this sale is just to eliminate this as something that my mom needs to think about. So we would strongly prefer a straight cash offer up front, honestly, just so I can tell her that she can, go back to the pickleball court and not need to think about this anymore. That said, of course, we're open to discussion, but it would need to be a attractive offer in other ways to make up for that.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
I think if you're someone with any experience selling on Amazon, this would be a really attractive business. I said this in a previous answer, but this is not a case where there are no growth opportunities left. This business has basically been frozen for the last 18 months. So I think you could easily boost sales by 50 or even 100% in just a few months with better advertising, refreshing the product pages, or launching new products. And then after that, it will basically just run itself and you can cash the checks for just a couple hours a month work.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.